Hey friends, this is Luke. Before we get going, I just wanted to let you know that this is part 1 of 2. It was such a great episode. I mean, it's about Chicago movies, Big Shoulders, so it's going to be a big episode, splitting it up into 2. So this is part 1 of 2 of Best Chicago Movies. Oh yeah, and this is a Chicago movie podcast, so there's going to be some language. Sorry, moms. All right, Luke, I guess take it away. To you. Go, Luke, go. The Windy City, the second city, the city of big shoulders and big dreams. It's Chicago, and we're ranking the city's top 10 best movies. Coming up next on Least Important Things. Welcome to a podcast called Least Important Things, a show about movies, friendship, and finding the meaning in the most important of the least important things. I'm your host, Luke Ferris. In today's episode, we are ranking the best 10 Chicago movies. And yes, where else would we be recording this? We're not recording this in Indiana. We're not recording this in Southern Illinois. We're recording it in Chicago, in a loft space, side by side with some awesome friends. The Metro line is just behind us, too. So if you hear a train...
Iconic Chicago.
It's part of the ambiance that we're going here
open
today.
the windows, we could hear it go by.
Well, we
Ruin
don't want
the
to do
audio
that. We
quality.
don't want to do that. That's a little too much. I actually, today is, this weekend as we're recording is the Chicago Air Show. And today there was probably a F-16 fighter that went by my house, and I was like, this is a really bad day to be recording the podcast.
Truly.
I was like, it's like, I'm a dog owner and I have a podcast. Just not great for the air show, but we're okay. I don't think we're going to get any planes coming through.
It's okay. Chicago's supposedly a war zone, so hearing some fighter jets flying by
according to
brand.
some news sources. Hey, who are those voices, says listeners out there? We have some new friends a part of the show. It's very exciting. I'm thrilled to have them. I'm going to start with these lovely couple here on my right. First up, an amazing person, a creative visionary who loves to find a hidden gem VHS at a garage sale. Mel Slattery, welcome to the show.
Hello. Happy to be here.
So glad you're here. I have a question for you, Mel. What's the best Chicago movie food? So Chicago food that would be in a movie. I'll give you a few selections here. Italian beef, the Chicago dog, pizza, or other?
Great question. And I've admittedly never had an Italian beef, so I'm going to have to go
Yes.
Chicago
Yes.
dog.
Get it right.
Oopsies. Chicago dog. I mean, it's classic. It's perfect. And who doesn't love a hot dog? So Chicago dog.
Plus, you can shoot it if you're filming a movie. You could shoot it in different locations. You can shoot it at the stand. You could shoot it on a bridge. There's lots of options.
Yes, brilliant.
Chicago dogs travel so well, famously.
Yeah, you can't be eating like a dipped wet Italian beef
No,
on a bridge.
no.
Well, or you can, but that's
You could.
That's a very distinctive vibe.
Who is talking, by the way? It is a Renaissance man who can fix your bike and code your software. That's someone who knows nothing about coding. It's Eric Bailey. Eric, welcome.
Thank you.
What is your favorite place to watch a movie in Chicago?
The music box.
Interesting.
100%.
Mel has the music box hats on for those watching on YouTube. It's a great place.
We're big fans.
We actually saw a movie this past year. It was one of my favorite experiences ever watching a movie. We saw the 50th anniversary Jaws, not just the re-release, on film. And it was a packed theater, so much fun.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We are blessed.
Yes.
It was great. Also, Robert Shaw, one of the actors in the films we're going to discuss later.
Yes,
Let's go.
Yes.
excited to
That's
see
good.
that.
Good connection. And I think that one of my favorite parts of living here, which I think a lot of people would say, like the sports team, the culture, the access to quality movie theaters is a huge reason why I love the city. And we have the Davis Theater not far from here. We also have an Alamo Draft House. It's just a feast of quality theaters where,
Truly.
and we have, what's the local chain? We'll bring in our local boy soon. Is Regal like the local chain? If I was going to say local chain.
I don't even know. Isn't it all just like AMC at this point? Does it even matter?
Yeah.
Because AMC are overlords.
If there's 50 minutes of previews, you're in the wrong spot. Speaking of local boy, we got him.
I'm
we
so
got
sorry.
him.
I'm so sorry.
He's already apologizing. It's Luke Soldano. Welcome to the show.
Hello. I'm happy to be here.
I'm going to move your mic a little bit closer, but we might need to move it back when the discussion starts
that's
to get
gonna be
heated.
very
But we
far
got to
away
hear
very
that
soon.
beautiful voice. Luke, what's the most Chicago out of these shooting locations? Outside of Wrigley Field, Millennium Park, anywhere along the lakeshore, on an L platform or on a train, or walking on a bridge in the Loop, or other?
I'm going to go other.
Other.
I'm
Do
gonna
you
go
have
other.
one?
I'm going to say, and you're going to hear a lot of this today, the best shots of Chicago aren't the ritzy tourist shots. It's somebody walking through their neighborhood looking like a normal person. Because, everything in these movies, it's like a tourist flew into Chicago, had 2 days, got a couple shots. The places you named, all fantastic, but I'm going to go with other neighborhoods.
I like that other. Last but not least, it's a man who could ask one question. One. It's a man. He could ask one question to me about movies, and we would lose probably an hour of productivity. It's Jason Oscar. Welcome, my friend. I think that's happened.
Thanks so much for having me.
I think it's happened multiple times this summer where it's just like one word, and we start going, and
I love talking movies,
we lose.
so I'm really glad to be
It's
here.
bad to be in a co-working space when someone loves movies, because I will find them and we will distract any productivity of work.
We won't shut up.
All right, Jason, I have an important question for you. And since
Please.
you are a cinephile who can talk about movies forever and ever, this is a big one.
Gosh, pressure's on.
Imagine this. If you were a director given carte blanche from a studio with only one exception, you have to use a Chicago-based actor as your lead. And these are all Chicago-based or people who got their start in Chicago. Michael Clark Duncan, Joan Cusack, Jim Belushi, not John, Jim. Not gonna. This is a tough question. Jennifer Hudson, Mr. T, Michael Shannon, Jake Johnson, Bob Odenkirk, Nick Offerman, or Dennis Farina.
You got a lot of really good options there. And I have my answer in my heart, but I do want to say just for 1 second,
Yes.
Jim Belushi has had a real renaissance in his dramatic career right now.
Really?
We're talking Twin Peaks: The Return. If you look at his IMDb page, you will be shocked. But I'm going to go Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
Nice.
Oh, the curmudgeon that we love, Michael Shannon.
Saw
That's
him
a
at the
great
Music
choice.
Box once. Highlight of my Chicago life.
What was he doing? Was he just like
He was seeing The People's Joker. It was
Michael
like
Shannon was seeing The
it
People's
was
Joker.
a crowd of like 99% trans women and people, and then like me and Michael Shannon, who is like 6'5", and you just walk out, and I was like, what? Like they were giving homemade like hormone replacement therapy out at the theater, and then like Michael Shannon's there. I was
And
like,
there he is.
cool dude.
That's
Way
amazing.
To go. Love
That's
to see
amazing.
it.
I would expect it would be a more avant-garde indie film that he would be at.
Exactly.
That's incredible. All right. Before we dive into our discussion, whether it's your first time listening or watching, or you're a friend of the show, like my friends here, thank you. We really appreciate it. Please remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts or on YouTube so you don't miss any episodes. Every Tuesday, a new episode. It's very exciting. You can connect with the show, leastimportantthings.com, leastimportantthings@gmail.com. Does anybody email anymore? Like, would you, Luke Soldano, would you email a show?
Would I email like you?
Would you email a podcast you listen to?
I've never done that in my life.
Okay, we might remove that. TikTok at Least Important Things. Or you can connect with me on Instagram at Luke H. Ferris or on Letterboxd at Luke H. Ferris. We have a Patreon where you can become a free member to receive emails. Apparently, email's dead. And you can or learn when a new episode is released. We also have video updates, exclusive conversations, and additional information about the episodes. For the same price as a cup of coffee or a pint, you can become a friend of the show and get a Least Important Things sticker. For those watching on YouTube.
I want one of those.
Yep, my guests get to have one.
Heck yeah.
I have more upstairs.
Yay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, you can get that. You get a special note from me, exclusive content, and more special surprises to come. Supporting the show helps cover us the cost of our production tools and helps us make more episodes. Visit patreon.com/leastimportantthings to learn more. And most importantly, this is an independent podcast. If you can't tell by the amateur production and chaos, the best way you can help with the show is recommending it to somebody you love or maybe you don't like. Please, so whether you're at a dinner party or smashing some Chicago dogs on a sidewalk after a long night of bar hopping, please recommend Least Important Things. All right, friends, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of why we're here. It's the rules and regulations time. It's time to get serious. Okay, everybody, settle down. This is serious. Let's figure out how this cinematic experiment is going to work. First off, we have some stipulations. Our discussion covers movies with two critical ingredients. One, the movie has to be set in Chicago or reflect the spirit of the city in the story. And two, the movie has to have scenes shot on location in the city of Chicago. For instance, Sleepless in Seattle features scenes shot on location in Chicago at the start of the movie and in flashbacks, but it's not primarily set here. I mean, the title says Sleepless in Seattle, so that wouldn't make it. Also, wouldn't make it The Breakfast Club and Home Alone. Now, a lot of people think these are Chicago movies, but they're really set in the suburbs. And this is not what this episode is about. So if you get angry, it's not my fault. Actually, it is my fault. So those don't really qualify. So I'm sorry, fans of the John Hughes movies. Most of them won't make it here. We will talk about John Hughes though. And then there's another stipulation. So movies like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Christmas Vacation, Chicago the Musical, all Chicago-based stories, but weren't shot in the city of Chicago. A lot of them were, I think My Big Fat Greek Wedding was shot in Toronto or sets in Hollywood. So those are out. Sorry, friends. Sorry, fans of musicals. Not a lot of musicals on this list.
I'm loving it.
Multiple
We got one
of
great
those were
one.
movies I suggested
I know.
as part of
I
this
feel really bad.
podcast, and
This
then
is-
they
it's-
immediately got
I
shut
know.
down.
I'm sorry, Mel. We'll do a specific. Maybe we'll do My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Maybe we'll cover
Just that one, I'd be
all
happy.
3 of them. We do the whole franchise.
3-hour pod
Yeah,
with just
it's-
Mel going off about it.
Incredible.
This is what we do here, at least important things. So when I first picked this topic and forced you guys all to be on this podcast, so thank you. I thought I was familiar with Chicago movies. I grew up in Michigan, so Chicago cinema was always tied to this, like, the big city. It's Chicago. Like, it was always a part of my psyche growing up. But when I did the research, there's a lot of movies that were filmed here and set here. Just tons, especially in the 80s and 90s. Like, the heyday. I don't know. Was there
Golden
a
Age is the golden age of Chicago.
Was there a tax incentive or something? Do you know anything about that? Or is it just like people wanted to be here?
I feel like SNL, the Bears, Jordan. We just had a lot of reason to be here. Second City was really just
Yeah.
I mean,
happening.
Michael Jordan was
so
the most famous person in the world.
That's
Like,
true.
still is one of the most recognizable people in the world.
when like Second
Yeah.
City, just everybody was from here, so they're making
Totally.
everything here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point. I included in a spreadsheet 70 plus movies that fit our criteria. They'll be in the show notes if you want to explore them. There's a lot. I tried to go through all of them, but I didn't have time. I had to be a human. With help from you, the listeners, this team, we narrowed that big list down to 10 that capture the spirit of the city and are the most well-known Chicago movies. I know controversial, but everyone participated. But if your top 10 is different, that's okay, and you can participate. You can play along as you're listening. I encourage you to check out the spreadsheet. Create your own top 10 as we go along. I'm not so good at math, so I try to make this as simple as possible. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to walk through the top 10 movies, our short list, alphabetically. We'll go around the horn. Everyone will give their rankings from 1 to 5 in 3 categories. So everybody has a 15 total that they have to submit for each movie. And here are the 3 categories. Cinematic quality, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. What is cinematic quality? This is just how good the movie is. Like, objectively, did this win Oscars? Does this have a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes? Objectively good. Chicago scenery, 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. This is the scenery of the city. How's it shot? Luke mentioned, is it just the Loop and the 5 tourist spots, or is it a neighborhood? Is it showing other things? That's another category. And the last one is kind of the special one. It's Chicago aura. It's just this feeling of Chicago, and that's 1 through 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Each panel member will share their ranking out of 15, and then we'll add them all up. The movie with the most total points, it's not golf, the most total points earns the title of Best Chicago Movie. But, friends, like any good game, there's a catch. There's a catch.
Oh,
What?
surprise!
Since
Surprise
we have a
twist.
local boy with us, and I would not dare to have a Chicago-based podcast from someone who wasn't from the Chicagoland area to just pick the best Chicago movie. How dare I? I'm giving the Luke the opportunity to pull 3 local cards. For those
Incredible.
watching
Hand 'em
on
over.
YouTube, they are just the Chicago flag. These are 3 Chicago cards, much like a yellow card or a red card in soccer.
Luke pulls the local card all the time.
Oh,
so
I do.
He doesn't really
He
need
has
a
3
card
local
for it.
cards. If he disagrees with a ranking, he can pull his local card and add or subtract a point from the total of the movie. So, for example, if Mel says this movie is 15, after
no.
she says her ranking, Luke can say, local card, I'm playing my local card. I can either add 1 point, so it could be to 16, or it could be down to 14.
Okay.
So you have that power. You can use it at any time, at any movie, for anybody's ranking, but Don't use them all
Does
in
it
the first round.
Is this also like a talking stick? Like if I hold this in the air, everyone just has to
Yes,
listen
yes,
because
yes.
my opinion is objectively
Oh,
more
no.
correct
It's
than
a
anyone
threat.
else's.
Ah, there it
Yes,
is.
there it is.
There's the Luke Soldano
I
we
gave him
love.
way too much power.
I was gonna say, thank God only 3.
Where's
On
that
the
mute
sounds of
button?
it earlier, you could have used 15.
Where's that mute button? Okay, so you can use those, but there's only 3, so it's a maximum of 3. Okay, friends, do you have any concerns about our ranking system, how I've set it up, the vagueness of it? Please, this is your time to butt in. This is not set in stone.
I'm a little concerned about the objective nature of cinematic quality. I feel it's going to be much more
Subjective. Well, I guess subjectively objective. I think these are all great movies. I should
Can I pull my card?
That should have been the title of this podcast. You can. It's more about okay. These are all great movies. We're talking off air. This is like the NFL draft. Everybody who gets drafted in the NFL is the best of the best. There's 10,000 college players that year that didn't make the NFL draft, but there is a first and there's a last pick. But they're all good movies. The 10 movies we're going to talk about in our ranking are all fantastic movies. But I think there's some like general. This is a better movie, and it can be from your perspective, or if you want to use more like objective type of information, like it won 5 Oscars, or it is regarded as one of the top 100 movies in the BFI. You can do that. There's no rules, really. It's just how you view it, but great question. Anybody else have any questions, concerns?
I'm sure we'll figure out together what
I'm sure
Chicago aura is.
Together.
I'll tell you.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Fans of the show know it's all about being lovers, not experts. We stole that from James Bonding, but that's what this show is all about. It's about being lovers of Chicago cinema, not experts. So we will get there together. All right, up next, before we get into the rankings, I want to talk about some other movies because I know there's already people that are angry once I start reading this top 10. I mean,
Pissed.
Luke's angry already.
I'm
He's
pissed.
angry. So I wanted to run through some honorable mentions, some categories of Chicago-based movies that I think if you like Chicago cinema, if you want to learn more about it, I suggest that you watch these movies because I watched these in preparation of this episode and was floored. And there was some that I'd never really heard about or vaguely had seen, and it was really fun to rewatch them. So I'm going to run through the categories, and for our guests, after each category, feel free to chime in. The first category is the first movie shot in location in Chicago. You get extra points if you know this movie. It is called Northside 777, made in 1948, starring Jimmy Stewart. It's a really good crime and courtroom thriller, combining newsreel footage of Chicago and location filming to enhance the story. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. So called
Never
Northside
heard of
777.
it.
It's very good. I almost added it to the top 10 because I felt like we needed a
make
black
us
Throw
watch
us a
it.
loop.
to make you guys watch it, but also a black and white movie.
Editing my letterbox list.
Yes.
As we.
I'm going to try to pull together that spreadsheet into a letterbox list when I have. I already have no life. When I really have no life, I'll do that. Maybe if I'm in an airport soon. Okay, the next category, I'm calling this honorable Chicago shot mentions. These are cinematic shots that really floored me. When Luke mentioned not just, okay, there's the bean. It's like other different shots that really grab and capture the essence of the aura of what Chicago is. Julia Stiles dancing beneath an outline in Save the Last Dance,
Hell yes.
2001.
I watched this movie for the first time like last week because of the connection. Well, okay, we'll get to it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Don't sleep on that. Save the Last Dance. Any other thing?
Best scene of the movie.
Jason Bob. Oh, shit. Bob. He's doing the Bob. Okay, another one. Keanu Reeves driving his motorcycle on the south side in the dead of winter in Chain Reaction, and also a great Michigan Avenue bridge sequence. That's 1996. This will come up later, but I lost my mind when I saw this. Fans of the show know I dedicated an entire episode to Keanu Reeves, so that he's going to make the list somehow. Nice. Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines are in a car chase on the L in the buddy cop action movie Running Scared from 1986.
Oh, man.
Yes.
I love Billy Crystal.
Car chase on the L.
That's going on. What does that mean? What do you mean?
You got to watch the movie.
Cars
Car
on train
chase
tracks?
on the L.
Early,
Yes.
early EVs, some say. Riding the third rail.
Wow. Sorry, what was that one called again?
That is called Running Scared.
I'm
You
writing
got to
this
check
down.
the show notes, man.
Yeah. You don't have to do this, but I appreciate it. What's your letterbox? It's what's your handle?
My handle is I think. Well, actually, it's a good question.
Everyone get their letterbox out.
Get your letterbox handles
was,
out, everybody. This was bad. I should have prepared this. I know Mel's because it's at a goddamn lady. It's the
Yeah, it
best
is.
goddamn
Yeah, mine is
letterbox.
E. Stratton Bailey.
Creative.
Jason?
It's not.
I think mine is Jurglin.
Jurglin.
Just thought it's a funny word.
Soldano?
Funny sound.
Straight jurgling it.
It is
Getting jerked
Man
with it.
Vanderhuge, all one word.
Okay. I like how letterbox handles are like AOL handles.
Oh yeah. Oh, this
like-
is my tag for everything. Thank you,
Okay.
Mystery Science Theater 3000
Yes.
Space
Oh,
Mutiny.
nice.
Sorry, I got us off track there. Another honorable Chicago shot mention. There's 1,000 in this movie. It almost made our top 10. Moody scenes at the Green Mill, industrial bridge driving in wet Chicago streets in the 1970s, 80s, crooked cops and Thief from 1980.
Yes.
Oh,
This is like my number one honorable mention. Another Jim Belushi
yes,
classic.
he's very good at it.
Really?
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't
Shit
know
you
that.
not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, amazing movie. James Caan
Yeah,
looking
Sonny
like
Corleone.
an absolute dime.
Yeah,
And
hell yeah.
it's just an amazing movie. Michael Mann's debut, and he started off so hot. It's incredible. Hard watch. You got to do it.
You have to see it. You have to see it. It's
Must
not as
see.
it's. I don't know why it's not as popular. Like it's shocking to me that
It's
it's
crazy.
not popular. Like I was like, how have I never seen this movie? And Michael Mann, a Chicago guy, a lot of Chicago-based movies. Backdrafts: Tale of Chicago Firefighters showcases numerous Chicago home styles, of course, because they're fighting fires, in a dramatic funeral procession parade downtown on Michigan Avenue. That's from 1991. If you've ever seen Backdraft, it's a very intense firefighter movie.
Which
Another-
Baldwin in that one again?
That is not Billy.
It's like third tier Baldwin.
Daniel?
It is
Steven?
Steven. It's
Oh,
Stevie
Steve.
Baldwin,
Steve.
who
Stevie
at that
Baldwin.
time he was kind of bigger. He wasn't bigger than Alec, but he was legitimate.
When there was a question of who
Yeah.
was the Baldwin.
it was like, oh,
Who was the
yeah.
There was like,
Baldwin?
oh, we got Usual Suspects.
I feel bad for
we
the
got
other
Backdraft.
Baldwins.
Yeah,
I feel bad.
Sorry.
But great. My brother's a firefighter, and he said this is the Top Gun for firefighters. Like
Oh,
this
wow.
is the one that they all like. This is the one they hold dear. So Backdraft, another great Chicago honorable shot mention. Okay, next is Yuppie Dramedies. I'm calling this Yuppie Dramedies. So young urban professionals, a bunch of young urban professional type of movies.
I didn't know that's what yuppie meant.
Yes.
Yeah, it's West Loop.
Yes, West. It's called the West Loop. Okay, About Last Night, starring Rob Lowe, Demi Moore. And Jim Belushi,
No way! What?
legend. He's great. It's a great
Someone keeps popping up at these
Jim,
covers.
so many good Chicago like young urban professional tropes. Like moving, there's a great moving scene. That's a really big part of Chicago cinema. I think it's just any scene where friends are moving other friends, and there's like softball. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Dive bars. Soul Food, directed by George Tillman Jr. He went to college in Chicago. A really great director. This was his like first breakout movie. The movie is told through an 11-year-old's eyes. It's about a close-knit Chicago family and really about his three sisters, the young boy's three sisters, who are all living varying lives as young women within the city. So check out Soul Food. Drinking Buddies, Happy Christmas, and Hannah Takes the Stairs, directed by Joe Swanberg. He's a Michigander as well, and spent a lot of time in Chicago. He kind of was part of this movement that I just learned about called the Mumblecore movement. A lot of his films are improvised. One of my favorite films, my wife's favorite films, is Drinking Buddies. There's a great moving scene in there. It's about craft beer. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I want to see this. This
Have you guys not seen
is
it?
Like Ron Livingston, right? And Olivia Wilde.
Olivia
and-
Wilde and
right.
Jake Johnson.
Johnson.
Jake Johnson.
That's what I'm thinking.
Highly
Yeah,
recommend.
yep.
They go to a cabin in Michigan. It's like it feels really real. It's one of my favorite movies.
Joe Swanberg, also a big part of Chicago film culture at the moment. He's like one of the co-founders of the TerraVision store. That's right.
Oh,
up
I didn't
the
know
road
that.
To
My
the music box.
My
Yeah.
dad might start helping them organize their,
No
their
way.
collection.
That's
yeah, as
awesome.
a
That's
old
so
sci-fi collection
cool.
nerd.
It's
Yeah.
a great pop up.
Yeah, very cool.
It's a fantastic.
But yeah, he
pop-up.
was like renting out videos from his collection for a while, like a
Wow.
real staple of the of the film
You know what's
scene.
ironic? I bought the Blu-ray of Drinking Buddies there
Incredible.
because they had
you go.
3 copies, and I was like, I gotta have this for the collection.
Hey, support your mom and pop shop.
Yes. Another one is The Big Sick. I don't know if you guys have seen that one with
Oh,
Camille
yeah.
Nanjiani, semi-autobiographical story about him coming up as a comedian in Chicago and the dramatic journey of his ex-girlfriend who experiences a medically induced coma. Some amazing performances by Ray Romano and Holly Hunter as his girlfriend's parents.
Great movie.
Fantastic.
He
one.
was a Lincoln Lodge guy, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
him,
so.
Pete
Yeah.
Holmes, like that whole generation was doing stand up here. It's
Holmes is
fantastic. And then this is a deep cut that I actually saw at TerraVision on VHS. It's called Windy City. It's a TV movie that covers a lot of the same themes here. So check out Windy City. I guess you can only get it on VHS. I found it online. Like, it's free online. You can find it. It was a direct-to-TV movie, but covers the same tropes for yuppies. Okay, Chicago rom-coms, huge category. What Women Want, While You Were Sleeping, which is one of my favorite, almost made the top 10. Stars Sandy Bullock playing a CTA worker who falls in love with a commuter from afar until one day he is pushed onto the track and she saves him from an oncoming train. When she takes him to the hospital, he's in a coma and gets mistaken for his fiance, so she runs with it. Also a great Christmas movie. Have you guys ever seen While You Were Sleeping?
No.
It sounds so unbelievable. I need to watch it.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman is also in it.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Great. Yeah.
That's one on your list, but you could also use it as a Christmas movie, so it's a dual purpose.
Wow.
I've heard of this movie. I've not seen it.
You have
but
to see it.
sounds
It-
so unhinged that
Yeah.
It sounds like so much
I was
fun.
gonna say, like, we'll get into it a little bit more in the list, but we need to go back to rom-coms where people are just behaving like absolute
Yeah.
demented,
Insane.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's
I love
coming.
it. Yep,
And everyone, it is coming. Okay, The Lake House, another Sandy Bullock movie.
So,
now, Luke,
Can I
yes.
speak to the lake?
Yes,
So
please.
the Lake House was filmed. I'm actually from Riverside, a suburb on the west side. Gasp. I'm a faker, but I did live in the
Take
city.
those local cars.
But hey,
Closer than the rest.
but I've been carjacked. I've almost been stabbed. I know how the city works. Okay, crime
That's
is a
aura,
theme here.
people.
But no, I grew up in Riverside where the movie was filmed. It was I'm from a town of 9,000 people surrounded by much bigger towns, and this was like the biggest deal of all time. You got Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock downtown. They're in the old Henniger's, was it called, pharmacy store. They were there's this mansion an acquaintance of mine's parents used to own that they filmed at, and I remember standing there on my bike having to go to the dentist, so only getting to watch for like 5-10 minutes, but seeing Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves sitting on the stairs. And my memory from all of that is just seeing famous actresses' hair at a distance and thinking, wow, like the greatest hair I've ever seen in my life. It's so which is not what you'd expect to hear from me. But
No,
it was that
How old were
remarkable.
you?
It was that remarkable. I've never seen the movie. It looks terrible, but one of the scenes I would love to see is there's a bridge called the Swinging Bridge. Very iconic where I grew up, so I feel like I need to watch it. And the train station.
Yeah, the train station
Train
is heavily
station.
featured
I
in
took
there.
that train many times. Yeah.
Do you know?
Amazing.
Do people put letters in the mailbox? Is that a thing?
I don't know if that movie was successful enough to do
Hell
it, but
yeah,
that would be
it's
great.
successful.
I would.
Yeah.
You want to go on a trip? Watch The Lake House. I won't even explain the plot to you guys because it's so confusing. The other two on the list, Love Jones and The Breakup, is another one in there. That's a very popular Chicago movie. Okay, two more categories, and then we'll get to the actual meat of the episode. I'm going to have this. This is called Dystopia Chicago, the Divergent series based here. And then Jupiter Ascending with the Wachowskis, who are
Yes.
from Chicago, so got to
Chicago
give them a shout out.
Gents.
And then Transformers Dark of the Moon as well. They did destroy like half the
I
loop.
saw it. It was terrible. But yeah.
Pretty bad. And then Chicago sports movies. It's the sports town.
Let's
So
go.
8 Men Out, League of Their Own, Rookie of the Year, The Express, and Hoop Dreams, the documentary. Very well received documentary. So the Chicago sports movies got to give love.
Not to keep talking, but Hoop Dreams to me is the biggest omission. It may be the greatest documentary of all time, on top of being one of the most fantastic pieces of anything I've ever seen. It's a documentary. Somehow it comes out like a movie because the lives of these two people are so dramatic, and that would be number one for me. Almost.
Yeah, that was when we talked about honorable mention. Thief, Hoop Dreams were my two. Hoop Dreams, in addition to being maybe the best American documentary of all time, maybe the best American sports movie of all
Yep.
time, it is a like totemic work on America, on sports, on race, on class, on Chicago.
Yep.
It's incredible. And I don't no spoiler alert for the documentary, I guess, but Arthur Agee, one of the kids that was profiled in the movie, went on to become an actor, and he's done some stuff.
Wow.
It's fun. Yeah,
I didn't
you can
know
see
that.
him.
Cool.
I'm trying to remember the movie he was in. He was in a movie where he played a scene with Hannibal Buress. And I was like, two
Nice.
Chicago legends.
Yeah, right
Going
there.
at it.
There they are.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, the high school they went to right down the street from me. Yeah, a basketball powerhouse. Yeah, super cool story.
Amazing. Well, friends, that's it for our honorable mentions, unless there's any I missed out, any omissions.
I'm still mad Chicago wasn't on the list. The musical.
Mel, tell me about Chicago the musical. What are your thoughts?
What do I need to tell you? It's incredible.
I have one thought. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I mean,
that jazz.
I mean,
all of
mic
it.
drop. I don't know.
Yeah, she's-
Richard Gere, not my thing, but
Yeah,
you know.
I think my biggest take is that, and we'll get
Mediocre.
into this later, the period films that were on the list, I don't know if they're any better. I understand the criteria. Chicago was not filmed here, but the period films that were on the list, I don't think they
Not
hold a
as good.
candle to.
Uh,
They had it coming.
Wait for the cards. We'll get into it. Chicago is great, and when we talk about like objectivity, won a lot of awards. So okay.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right to be angry. I'll talk.
Why
to,
didn't they film it here?
I
I'm
don't know.
mad.
I'll talk to management and see what we can do about that. But it is not. It didn't make the criteria. All right, friends, you ready to move on to the top 10 best Chicago movies, the rankings, what you're all here for, the showdown, the lowdown. Are you ready?
yup.
Our first movie in the top 10. This again, it's alphabetical order. So this is the first movie, alphabetical order. 2002's Barbershop, directed by Tim Story, written by Mark Brown, Don D. Scott, and Marshall Todd, starring Ice Cube, Cedric the Entertainer, Eve, Anthony Anderson, Keith Anderson, and just a huge cast of names that would go on to do so much post 2002. Ice Cube plays Calvin Palmer, a third-generation barbershop owner on the south side of Chicago who's attempting to keep the shop afloat amid a cast of characters and storylines flowing through his place of business. The story unfolds over one dramatic day at the barbershop and its surrounding neighborhood, where the characters and storylines intertwine to shape the shop's future. Now, I'm sure people want to hear the thoughts of a white 30-something-year-old male podcast host from Michigan about the black experience on the south side of Chicago, but this movie was a sensation. It was pretty amazing. It was a huge hit, $12 million budget, and it made more than $77 million. Pretty impressive. Luke Soldano, what did you rank Barbershop?
Am I just giving it numbers or
You
what?
can run through each one.
All right. So bear in mind, there's a little bit of this is relative. I did love this movie, but cinematic quality, we're going 3.5.
Okay.
All right. Chicago scenery, we're going 3.5. I like that they were in, a neighborhood of the city. They weren't just in the Loop.
Right.
They're hanging out. There's some good shots, of the neighborhood they're in. Nothing like stands out to me as like, oh, this is a perfect shot. This is amazing, because obviously a lot of it is kind of in a similar location. But the Chicago aura, I'm gonna give it a 4. Awesome. Again, love this movie. Anthony Anderson's character, amazing. This is one of the highlights. One of the funniest parts of this movie may be the complete lack of chemistry between Ice Cube and his wife. There's absolutely zero chemistry between this
They
man
didn't get
and
a
his
lot of
pregnant
scenes
wife.
together,
They
yeah.
got none. But no, great film. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I think that gets it at 11.
I think you got 11. All right, let's do Jason next.
For me, I also had a great time with this movie. Cinematic quality, 3.5, same. Chicago scenery, I gave this a 3. I did love like the neighborhood setting. You can tell on location and everything. Obviously, all of these are, but it was very fun. You got that feeling of it. But it felt a little small in some ways. So
Yeah,
think
I mean,
that's
it was
why
a-
I kept
yeah,
it.
that's fair.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I agree.
$12 million sounds like a lot of money, but that is a pretty small budget for a movie.
Totally. And the aura, I gave a 3.5. Love the feeling of community that it really evokes. That like sense of place is really strong, I felt. Some things I loved about this movie. Well, first, one little fun fact for me that I had to look it up. I was like, Cedric the Entertainer can't be that much older.
No,
than Ice Cube.
no,
That's
no,
one of
no,
the,
no,
like,
no.
it's
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
the most hilarious parts of the movie is he's not
5
that
years
old.
older. He's 5 years older than
It's a
Ice Cube.
sketch.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
something about
It's a sketch character.
For sure, of course.
it's
He always plays the old head. I loved it, but I
He is
just had to know. I was like, he's been playing this guy for 20 years.
Yeah.
He was
Uh,
so good.
So
But had a great time. I agree. Anthony Anderson was really had me rolling. Keith David.
I love Keith David.
Gosh, that voice.
Yeah, you notice how I dropped my voice there a little
Yeah.
bit when I said that.
I
I'm
love
just
Keith
I'm just trying to
David.
live up to Keith David.
Yeah,
You have this-
I just watched The War, which is a Ken Burns documentary, and he narrates that.
Oh,
What?
is he also a loan shark
That's-
in that documentary? Because the perfect loan shark smile. if
Yeah,
there ever was
it's
one.
incredible.
But, like
does,
that shows
yeah.
his range. That I was like, because I watched Barbershop while I was watching the Ken Burns doc, and I was like, this guy can play that character in Barbershop and then narrate about World War II and that like huge epic. It's
He's also
incredible.
like an
So funny.
alien in the Mass Effect video game series. Do you
I
know
love
this?
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
Incredible.
call.
Doesn't surprise
I'm pretty
me.
sure. Was that the right character?
I
Anyway,
believe
he's
you.
in
I'll
Mass
ta- I'll
He's
take
done
your
a
word
ton of-
for it.
He's done a ton of
A
video
lot of
game
voice
voiceover work
acting,
because
yeah,
he
yeah.
has an incredible
It's
voice.
so iconic, yeah.
But the second that Pusherman needle drop hit and that car pulled up, I was like,
Oh, yeah,
Keith
you're in it,
David
you're
is
in it.
walking out of this fucking car.
Curtis
He will be
Mayfield.
wearing the greatest suit
Oh,
you've
yeah.
ever seen in your life.
Absolutely.
And lo and behold, the glorious entry. It was great.
That's so
Shout out to
good.
Curtis Mayfield.
They probably didn't have a ton of money for music budget, but they spent it wisely. They spent it budget on music and actors, and it's just incredible. All
Huge
right,
cast. Oh, also shout out to Eve.
shout out to Eve.
Brings you right back to 2002.
Oh yeah. All right, that's probably the most like early 2000s thing about this movie.
I'm sad I'm not wearing Sean John or Fubu right now. I'm not gonna lie. That was the best part of this movie.
Eric, Mel,
I'm gonna go first.
Mel's gonna go
I'm
first.
gonna go first. So Barbershop, cinematic quality, I gave it a 4. Also, really enjoyed it. We made the mistake of watching this film with commercials, which really messed up the
Tubi,
flow.
Tubi. Love you, Tubi.
Awful. But even amid all of that, still really enjoyed it. I do think that the like buddy comedy situation happening with the ATM where they kept I was like, are we in the same movie?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
where-
probably ages the movie. It's really funny, but it does take you out of the like
Yes.
what Ice Cube is doing emotionally about like his dad and
Yes.
the barbershop, and then it's like,
I-
oh, these two side characters.
I-
Ice Cube
Goofballs
has no emotions in this movie. Let's be real. Ice Cube is not the best actor.
No,
in this
but
movie.
it-
he's
but it
great.
fits.
He's
It
great,
fits.
but
It fits. It fits the role.
It fits.
Yeah, that was a very 2002 part of that movie.
Yeah, it took me out of it a little bit,
Yeah.
but the way it ended and wrapped up, I loved it. Chicago scenery, I gave it a 2, because I also felt that it was quite small. Like I think,
Yeah, there's one shot I think towards the end at night where you see the city skyline, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much
When he
that's
throws,
what
Yeah.
it
when he
was.
throws the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he tosses the gun. So it is very contained in the barbershop in the neighborhood. There's not
which I
expansive
don't
a
fault
budget.
the movie
No,
for that,
it's just
but
that's just part of the movie.
this is the scoreboard.
She says with disdain, and rightfully so.
And then Chicago Aura, I gave it a 3, but I think I'm still figuring out in my head what Chicago Aura means.
Okay, well, if you want to go back, we won't set these in stone. If you like, I
change
want to
my
be
mind.
open. If you're like going through these and you're like, you know what, I was wrong about that, we can set it. We can go back and change it.
Cool.
So it's okay. Okay.
You can enter the transfer portal.
Yeah, enter the transfer portal. It's
Right
fine.
here.
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Eric.
So I also really enjoyed this movie. I gave it a 3 on cinematic quality. I do really enjoy the kind of like I don't know what they call it, like a capsule film or something, like something that's like it feels like it could be a play. It's like 12 Angry Men.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
You
is kind of
could.
I think it's
Yeah.
like it's something that like I could watch on stage and like really enjoy it, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that it did a nice job of it because that could come across as really boring, but I was not bored at all. I really enjoyed it. In terms of the Chicago scenery, I gave it a 2, which maybe I'm now feeling is like a little like less generous because actually I was thinking about the comic relief with Anthony Anderson and his like little sidekick, and like some of the parts where like they were arguing underneath kind of the train in like a deserted lot, just kind of like this desolate feeling, and it's like cold out. They're wearing like coats and stuff. I was like, that's very Chicago
Oh yeah,
too.
I give
You know,
props.
just kind of
I
like.
think if it's filmed during the winter, also props.
Yeah.
Like that
Like,
was.
I actually
impressive.
think that's pretty iconic,
Well,
Chicago.
and
in a
I
way.
think that's like an encapsulation of what it's like to live here, where like that
Sure.
stuff's just there, and there's different parts of the city that like aren't the loop or just the pretty parts. You know what I mean? There's parts
Exactly.
where
So
it's,
true.
it's just a friggin' train lot. You know,
And you're
that's
talking
it.
to your buddy and trying to.
You're just trying to steal an
stay in
ATM,
an
to get
ATM.
by. you
Also,
know?
when they're moving the ATM up and down the stairs,
Oh,
I
it's
mentioned
hysterical.
moving scenes are really important to me. I'm sure if you guys have ever moved within the city, I mean, it's a emotional, physical, and spiritual experience. And when they're moving the ATM up and down
Yeah.
the stairwell, that's,
well, and also
that's
like it's
unique.
like the fire escapes that
Yeah,
are like
yeah,
also iconic to
it's
Chicago.
iconic.
Like it. So yeah, I actually feel like I'll give it a 3. I'll edit this
Okay,
in a second.
okay.
I'm gonna give it a 3. For Chicago Aura, maybe this is a hot take. I want to give it a 5.
Love it.
because
I love it. I
so
respect that.
I have kind of two
Local
reasons
card
for that.
stand down.
No, I'm
The
happy.
local cards
I'm
have not
happy if
moved, but he's not
Barbershop does
reaching
well.
for it. Okay.
I kind of have
happy
two
it
reasons
does
for that. So it's like it's a storyline. It's kind of like an everyman tale, very much like It's a Wonderful Life kind of thing. We don't really get the flashbacks of like what could be, But
Right.
there is like the part where everybody realizes like what he did and like how they, you know, reacted to it, and they talk about all the things that he's done for them and how their lives would be different and things like that. And I think that's beautiful. And also, Chicago's like the city of broad shoulders. So like these small businesses, family-owned businesses, it's something that exists in other cities, obviously, but other cities like New York and San Francisco, a lot of these family-owned businesses don't exist anymore, or at least not in like the, you know, central neighborhoods and things like that. And this is based in a neighborhood of Chicago. It's like a multi-generational business, and I think that's like actually really iconic Chicago also. So in terms of like just the overall vibe and like message of it, I think it's very Chicago, and I don't know.
I like the stakes.
Super Midwest. What did I give Aura? What did I give Aura?
Yeah, I want to change mine now.
Okay,
I want to up it. That
Oh
was
my
that was
God.
convincing.
You said 4.
Yeah, give it a 5. That
okay.
was
Mel, do you
that
want
was
to
very-
change yours?
I'll up it to
Barbershop
a
shooting
4.
Wow. Jason's going to
Maybe
stay at
skyrocket.
3.5.
I'll be the curmudgeon.
Okay.
Also, shout out to Jimmy, who also co-stars in Save the Last Dance.
Oh, yeah, that's true. we got a
yeah.
crossover.
Awesome.
Crossover.
College boy Jimmy.
Yes, he
Whoa.
plays the embittered, like the more academic guy who works at the barbershop.
okay. Did you not? That is actually
Sean
how
Patrick Thomas.
Typecast.
Sean Patrick
The
Thomas.
most annoying character in the entire movie. Who I would
Yeah,
would
he is
love to
annoying, but
punch.
he's on
Yeah.
purpose.
You know,
yeah.
it's a character
Yeah,
who I would
yeah.
still love to punch.
That is
Learned a
actually
very
how-
valuable lesson
It's actually how I ended up on
about
Save the
not
Last
judging
Dance.
white people.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, I'll say mine really quickly. Cinematic quality 3, scenery 3, and then Aura was 5 for me. A couple other things. Oprah's guest house was mentioned that he wants to buy.
yeah, that's a good
Yes.
point. That's a good point.
Felt very 2000,
That was great.
2002. I also said Walter Payton bit with Cedric the Entertainer. I love.
Yeah.
Including when the Jalen Rose cameo, which being
Yes.
from Michigan,
Oh,
that
yes.
poor
Jalen
guy,
Rose, yep,
and when Cedric the Entertainer's character says, Michael who? Yeah, like it's just hilarious. And then the slow-mo chase under the L when they're running from the cops. I thought that was a beautiful Chicago scenery.
So good.
All right,
Yes.
guys,
Yes.
we're on a mission from God in
Yes.
this
Yes.
episode. It's the Blues Brothers 1980s movie directed by John Landis, starring Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, John Candy, and a legendary
Get out.
Get out.
Card.
card.
No,
And a legendary list of music icons, including Cab Calloway, Aretha Franklin, and James Brown. Ray Charles as well. Thank you. This was the first SNL sketch turned into a movie, and it tells the tale of Juliet, Jake, and Elwood Blues on a mission from God to reunite their band and save the Catholic orphanage they grew up in, all while eluding the Chicago PD, protect and serve. The Blues Brothers is about driving and music, and they shot everywhere in the Chicagoland area. Really, besides the final concert, which was at a concert hall in LA, the Hollywood Palladium. I just do not have time to list them all. Amazing movie. What can we say about Blues Brothers? Let's get into it. Who wants to start with Blues Brothers?
I'll start.
Mel loves this movie, so I'm going to start with you, Mel. Give us your rankings.
5s across the
I had a
board.
feeling I was going to fill it in.
5s across the board, baby.
So Mel, tell the listeners and viewers your background with this movie and like growing up with this movie.
Oh, I can't elaborate on much, but I know I watched it when I was pretty young. My dad was a big fan, turned us all into big fans. So, but I hadn't watched it in a long time. So rewatching it, I was like, oh my God, where's this been? And I kind of in my head thought it was like, oh yeah, it's funny. I knew it had the musicians, but rewatching it, I was like, they just shot for the stars. Some of the stuff they did was so
Crazy.
absurd, so over the top. The things they captured, the places they went, and obviously the iconic scene outside, what is it, Daly's? I can't even
Daily
remember which.
Plaza.
Daily
Yeah.
Plaza, yes. Insane.
Insane to watch a movie. A movie just in general to shoot this much on location with the extras in that scene, all over the
So
place.
many extras.
So many
Yeah.
extras. But also a comedy movie based off of SNL
Yes.
sketch. I don't think we'll ever see anything like this ever again.
No
chance.
No.
The sense of scale is kind of crazy, and it still has it did have the world record of like most cars
I
destroyed
was-
in
yeah.
a single car chase.
Got it.
Yeah, it is.
Literally, one of my notes is the quote-unquote carnage of this movie is the greatest part. The sheer number of cars
it had a
destroyed
world
is-
record that was broken only like in homage by, unfortunately, Blues Brothers 2000.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay, Eric. give us your rankings here.
Okay, so I do not have, and I mean no offense to anyone, but I do not have the nostalgic bent.
Okay, yeah,
of,
that's fine.
Of some
That's
people
why
with
we
this
have
movie.
multiple opinions. It's
It's
totally fine.
what 2.5 hours, 2:25, something like that.
Yeah.
It drags a little bit for me, to be honest. But I know.
No,
I know,
it's okay.
I know.
It's a long
But
movie. It's a long comedy
so I
movie.
preface it with that. Let me start with Chicago Aura. It's a 5.
Okay.
Because this movie,
Guaranteed.
although a lot of it doesn't even take place in Chicago, really, is inextricable from Chicago. You talk about Blues Brothers, people
Icons.
say it's Chicago. So it's like it's 100% Chicago, and also like just the last scene itself just takes the cake.
The Blues Brothers are almost, I don't know, so Luke, if you feel this way, but to me, they're caricatures of Chicago. Like, they're up there with Al
Totally.
Capone.
They're super
Totally.
fans type,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah, super
like
fan.
Golden Age of Chicago.
It is ironic that there's, like, multiple SNL sketches that
It's
define
Second
the city.
City, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
man, I'm telling you.
he's right.
The pipeline.
Yeah.
Anyways, Eric, go ahead.
Okay, and then I have a couple of things to say, but also, so for cinematic quality, I have a 3.
Yep.
I think it's great. I enjoy watching it. But yeah, anyway.
Dude.
And Chicago scenery, I also give it a 3, just because there's not a lot of Chicago in it. That's all. It's just that final scene that's like iconic. I mean, primarily. Are you gonna say something?
You're wrong.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm definitely wrong. Definitely wrong.
I'm
The heat is
reaching.
on.
Let-
The heat
let,
is
let
on.
me also say
I'm
two
reaching.
highlights of the recent rewatch for me were Elwood's knuckle tats, where it just says Elwood, and then his last 2 fingers don't have anything on them because his name's not long enough, which is great. And then also the credits. This might be the best credits of any of the movies we watched. Maybe Ferris Bueller. I mean, also iconic, but this is the one. It's like Folsom Prison Blues. Like they're performing and like they have the cast and all the crew and stuff in there too. Anyway, that was so.
They
that was
don't
cool.
really do end credits like that.
They really sent it off.
They don't. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lost
The
art.
last 30 minutes of this movie, 10s across the board. Yeah, 10 out of 5.
Okay.
I'm wanting so badly to play a card on you, but I feel like it'll be wasted on Blues Brothers, because like what hasn't already been said about Blues Brothers, that of course there's gonna be one guy who gives it a 3, but I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna unhappily let it slide. I
his
might
name is Eric.
retroactively give one. If
All
I have
right,
some
Luke,
left
give us
later.
your rankings here.
All right. Well, I just got to start by saying I had to catch up on some of these movies, right?
Yes.
So I watched this one during work because I have seen it before, and I could not put the
He
damn thing
maybe
down.
watched this.
No,
during
no.
work. We don't know. It's not official.
I could not put it down. It was the problem. Is I was
any coworkers
I was-
watching?
Yeah. Shh.
It's a bit in the show. It's fine.
I was trying to do stuff, and I'm like, I can't. This movie's too good. The Cab Calloway performance may be one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. Just
Played
like
at every baseball stadium across
Just
the country.
fantastic. And this was the part of the movie where I had to keep stopping because of work, and I'm like, shut up, get me out of this meeting. Like, I need to
Because
watch
of
Cab.
laundry. He was doing work on the laundry. He wasn't doing his job work. Who would watch a movie while you were working on your job?
Yeah.
None of us.
Unbelievable.
Please don't fire me. That was just fantastic. I feel like one of the best parts of this movie, just if we're looking behind the scenes on how I gave Aura scores, I was very focused on the accents in the movies. I don't expect Hollywood movies to have a good representation of our accents, but Blues Brothers like slays it. You know what I mean? It's the main 2 characters have Chicago accents. You hear them throughout, and obviously this movie just beautifully captures a caricature for sure. A caricature for sure, but captures the spirit of Chicago. We got blues music, we got food, we got every kind of person, and they're not just in the city; they're in the Chicagoland area. I would give it 5s across the board. The only thing I gave a 4 was scenery, and that's just because I don't think that they necessarily used Chicago scenery in any super interesting way or showed something off. They kind of drove around. We saw the jewels. We saw the local
The
areas.
Jewels was good.
Yeah. So, but no, otherwise just utterly fantastic. Last comment. One of the fun things I caught in this is near the beginning of the movie when the main 2 troopers are trying to chase the
Great
Jake and
side
Elwood.
characters, by the way.
Oh,
the troopers that
amazing.
keep popping up. That's
Amazing.
Those are
And
one of my
spinning
favorite
around
characters.
upside down,
Yes.
all that. But they do say they are going northbound in Cortland, which, fun fact, is an east-west street. So that was one little...
Gotcha, Blues
Gotcha.
Brothers.
Gotcha. But
Ah, 45 years later. Can't get by us.
you're canceled. So yeah, ratings end up being 5 for cinematic quality, 4 for scenery, and 5 for aura.
Okay. Jason, wrap us up here on Blues Brothers.
What a fun movie.
Yes.
I mean, just to echo what everyone said, but I mean, we were talking before about not much musical representation, and
That's true. This is the closest thing to a musical.
Absolutely a musical,
Definitely.
and the musical performance in this are second to none. They're incredible. Aretha Franklin is in this movie. I mean, what more do you need?
You don't need
also,
anything.
like, a
Ray
good
Charles
actress.
is what I need.
So funny in it.
She was
I think-
really good at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like. I'm such a sucker for the Ray Charles bit, like
Oh
that whole
my
bit.
God.
Like, but if it wasn't for that, like she would be the funniest guest in the movie for sure, or cameo in the movie.
Yeah,
I think, if you're not counting Carrie Fisher.
Oh my
Yes.
Oh, Carrie.
Carrie
Rest
Fisher's
in
amazing.
I mean, there's like
movies.
an abundance of riches in this movie. For me, I also, like Eric, have not had a nostalgic relationship with this movie at all. This is, I think, the second time I saw it. And I remember being left a little cold the first time I watched it. And watching it again, I was like, what was I thinking? What was I doing that I like wasn't in love with it?
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so fun. The one thing I like, the one critique I think that I would bring to the movie, in part just because of like thinking about recording this podcast and watching it, is that not with such a rich musical heritage, and the movie clearly tapping into that, not one of the musicians that show up in the movie are from Chicago.
That's true. That's true.
It's like a really kind of surprising choice. And I think are like very associated with not Chicago. Like maybe John Lee Hooker, because he's doing like kind of electric blues, you'd associate with that. But like Ray Charles, South. Aretha Franklin, Detroit. Like the backing band is Booker T and the MGs. We're talking Memphis.
Yeah.
Like, who am I missing? Who am I missing? Cab Calloway, Harlem. Like,
Yeah.
we're like very, very particularly not Chicago. Surprising to me.
Yeah, definitely. It's talking about like the genre of music.
Yes,
Like
it's
Yeah.
definitely
rhythm
like
and
the
soul.
musical
Yeah,
heritage
yeah,
of Chicago for sure. Just like it's a nit. It's a nit.
That's right.
what it
That's
is.
right.
That's
That's
But
what-
it-
That's
all
valid.
But,
That's valid.
but it was just, I'm not going to dock it for anything, but I was watching, I was like, huh, why
Yeah.
not? Where's BB King?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But cinematic quality, 4. Chicago scenery, I give it a 4.5. I think that I just thought that there was a ton of great Chicago shots. I'm a sucker. I mean, I'm obviously not a local boy, but like when I see like the L being used in a fun way, like it always kind of
That
makes
felt
me
real
smile.
for someone who lived 2 years behind an L track. Just the constant train going by.
Oh,
when they're
yeah.
in the
It was-
apartment.
Yeah.
That was one of
so
my favorite
funny.
things.
I was like, we'd kill for this kind of L service right now. Like, it was constant.
Thank you for bringing that up because, yeah, as someone who also lived next to the L, that was accurate.
It's so good. And Aura, I gave a 4.5.
4.5. All right. For those following along at home, we have Well, I'm not going to give the total scores, but Eric gave Barbershop an 11. Mel gave it a 10. Jason gave it a 10. Luke gave it a 12, and I gave it an 11. Blues Brothers, Eric 11, Mel 15, Jason 13, Luke 14, and the Luke that's talking also 14. I did 4, 5, 5. A couple other things I want to throw out. There's so much in this movie. We could do a full episode on it, of course. We talked about Carrie Fisher. This movie came out 1 month before Empire Strikes Back. So this is
Whoa.
peak
Wow.
Carrie
That's
Fisher.
nuts.
I love the Kokomo, Indiana show. That was great. We had a Mayor Daley mention, obviously the Daley Plaza.
Steven Spielberg cameo.
Steven Spielberg cameo, which I didn't
Wait, what?
remember. Right at the end, he's the teller.
He's the like guy that works in the office that's like giving them the receipt for their tax
that's
payment.
Oh my
Crazy.
god!
And also just like if you've ever had to do anything in the city like or the county and had to go down in the loop to do any kind of paperwork, like I love how that's the central part of this movie. That feels very Chicago. Like
Yeah,
why am I
100%.
going down here to get a parking pass updated and standing in line? It feels so archaic. I don't.
Why are there 10,000 cops chasing me to do it?
Yes. And then something that has this is actually aged well, but in a bad way, is the Nazi party bit.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
It's very sad that has it still holds up because it shouldn't, but it does, and it also is
Totally.
amazing that our heroes just totally fuck with them, which I appreciate.
Yes.
Shout out Skokie, Illinois.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, moving on. Next movie is from
Yes.
1992. It is Candyman. is a movie directed by Bernard Rose, starring
victim.
Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen. The proto-prestige horror thriller tells the lore of Candyman, a murdered slave who comes back to haunt a grad student investigating an urban myth on the south side of Chicago. All right, who wants to start with Candyman? Jason, I see a smirk. I see a smirk.
I can start on this. I think I'll be the champion of this one.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I love this movie. I adore this movie. I think you are dead on calling it like the proto prestige horror.
Thank you.
People think that Jordan Peele invented horror dealing with like interesting social issues, but this movie absolutely goes there. Has some really interesting thoughts on gentrification and how shitty grad students are,
Amen.
and race and class dynamics. It's all there in a really rich way. I think it is an awesome movie. It's definitely not the scariest thing you'll ever see, but it has some really fun imagery. Tony Todd is electric and has like him and Keith David should just, I would want to hear them have a conversation.
Yeah, and screen time as well. Like not a lot of screen time, but just owns every shot they're in.
Absolutely. Like that first scene in the parking garage when he walks in, his voice feels like it is coming from everywhere. It is just, it grabs you. It's fantastic. I'll be lame and say you wrote something in your Letterboxd review, Ferris, where you said that he like uses his time as well as the shark from Jaws. I was like, absolutely so nailed it. It's
well
so
said.
true.
Wow,
Well
I feel
said.
good.
Yeah,
I'm like living up to the Letterboxd memes where I'm like staring at my, like there's all these memes of like, oh, looking at your own Letterboxd review and like loving it.
God, I nailed it.
Thank you- thank you for doing that for me.
It was really, really good. I just think it's a really interesting, smart movie. It's like certainly not perfect, but it has a lot there. It's a really rich text.
I think that's a great
and
summation.
I do think, and to speak to Aura a little bit, like I just think the way it engages with these things are so perfect for big cities, especially Chicago, an extremely segregated history with a history of public housing, redlining, and all these things, and obviously gentrification. I think this is like an extremely Chicago movie in its engagement with that, and obviously in the sense that some of these places are right next to literal colleges where grad students might be, who will be annoying. So for cinematic quality, I gave this a 4.5. Chicago scenery, pretty limited. I know that like it didn't actually film in the Cabrini Green much. The like inside that we're seeing, I don't believe is on location. I believe it's a set. So I docked it a bit for that, but I do think it has a strong sense of place. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. And aura, I think it has like a really, really strong aura. 4.5.
Beautiful.
If I can go,
Soldano.
I agree completely. One of the coolest things about Candyman is like the writing of it actually comes from somebody from the Cabrini Green projects, which is super
Really?
cool. Yeah, I came across this movie in a weird way because I saw the quote unquote remake that came out recently. I watched some YouTube videos on it out of curiosity, and then actually got to watching the original. And fantastic movie. I think it's hard. You know, you're talking about Jordan Peele. It's hard to capture like white privilege in a movie in such a good way, you know, without beating you over the head with it. But I found myself watching this movie and I'm like, this white woman will just not listen to anybody. Shut up, you know. But it's just fantastic, and I have a soft spot for horror, of course. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there's like necessarily the greatest shots of Chicago in this movie, but I think that they capture the aura well, and there's actual like a story and a history based in the city, which, you know, makes it something beyond just a thing we filmed in Chicago and wrote somewhere else. So for my ratings would be, for cinematic quality, I'd give it a 4. Scenery, I'm between like a 2.5 and a 3, but I'll give it a 3 because I do like this movie, and I'm gonna give Aura a 4.5.
Beautiful.
You know, I'll drop my scenery to 3 from 3.5.
Okay.
Who am I kidding? I'll respect the local.
I like the side of the couch that I'm
Yes,
sitting
wow,
on.
this side of the couch is unified.
Fourth local card, a freebie.
That was a freebie local card. You didn't have to do it.
Talk out of the side of my mouth.
All right,
It
the other
convinces
side of the
people.
couch, Mel.
I don't like horror films. I watched this for the first time about a year ago at Jason's house. because they host a fun October Sunday Scaries, making their friends watch scary movies, except none of their friends like scary movies.
We call that doing the Lord's work.
Thank you. Spreading the good word.
So I did not fully rewatch it for this podcast, but I watched a full synopsis and I was like, oh wait, I forgot how interesting the storytelling is. A lot of times with horror films, I'm just like, oh, this part
Just get
scared
through
me.
it. Like, I gotta get through this. Yeah.
I need to endure it. But rewatching that synopsis, I was like, oh right, they did so many interesting things, and told the story in such an interesting way. And maybe I should watch all horror movies via synopsis. I can get the cool part of it. But anyways, because of my distaste for horror films, I gave it the cinematic quality of 3 because it's just not something I'd be interested in. Chicago scenery, I also gave a 3 because again, I based on everything else everyone else has said, because clearly I'm not the expert on this one. Chicago Aura, though, I did give it a 4 because I think the world it captured, although I don't want to experience it, watch it, live in it all the time, it is very real, and it makes you think about things that have been very real, even if Candyman is not real. And it tells a very...
Excuse me?
What?
Say it 4 more times and we'll see.
Say it 4 more times.
I mean, collectively, we're already over it, right?
And that's
we're
CRT
screwed.
TV. You say
What
it,
about
that's CRT.
collectivity?
Yes.
This
Eric.
white woman will just not listen.
All right, I'll go fast. Everyone's already said everything. I gave it a 4, cinematic quality, a 3 on scenery, and a 5 on aura. I really, really enjoyed it. I also do not like horror movies. But I always, like, watching this, I remember thinking, like, it felt like there's a lot of depth to it. I mean, obviously there is, like, with the social undertones and things like that. But I looked up a little bit about it, actually, just earlier today. It's based on a short story.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Parker,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of cool just in and of itself. So there's, like, already, like, some more depth to it that I'm like, curious to hear about. But he worked with the director to develop this movie. The director wanted to make it more of, like, a social movie. And so they decided to move it from Liverpool, where the book is set, to Chicago, like, for that reason.
Which is I feel like it's a great light for like city from the UK.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, it's very interesting. Yeah, definitely. And also, like, there's just even like little notes of like sweets to the sweet, like in the movie. That's apparently a Hamlet quote, and that itself is based on a
English
Bible
class
verse. And I'm like, okay, now I'm like hooked. I think this is like really interesting. I just love that about movies like this. It's not just a horror movie. It's actually it's prestige horror. It's this is like
it's a really rich text.
It's really rich. I want to rewatch it. Like,
There's so many
do.
layers to it.
Yeah.
When you actually look into it, it's pretty amazing.
I don't want to rewatch it.
And Mel does not. And you don't have to.
Jason and I will rewatch it.
Maybe I'm going to step on Ferris's toes, but there's one great fun fact about this movie is that Tony Todd in his contract said, "I'm going to get $100 for every time a bee stings me during this movie," because obviously everyone knows he has the $2,400.
Smart man.
Damn.
That is a smart man.
24
Thank you for
beefsteaks.
pulling that one.
Walking around-
I knew that
walking
fact,
around
but I didn't
money.
write it down. So thank you, because that is one of the most brilliant moves. That's like up there with George Lucas getting the like rights.
back and forth.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's incredible. Okay, so that was Eric 12, Mel 10, Jason 12, Soldano 11.5, and me is 11. I gave it a 4 for quality, 4 for scenery, 3 for aura. The scenery I really like. The first shot, this is pre-drone over Interstate 290 going westbound out of Chicago. Did I get that right? Is
Yeah,
that-
because
okay,
they go
okay.
past the old post office and then they're on 290 outside
okay.
of.
Wouldn't want to be the
I was
next
worried.
Blues Brothers.
Oh my gosh, that's it sets the tone of the movie. It shows the city, and it's gray out. They shot this in the winter. That just gray that covers the entire scenery. It's this filter that if you've lived in the Midwest, you know about it. Which like reminds me of Liverpool. It's beautiful. So I want to throw that out there, and just there's so much there that you can get from this type of movie, and it really reminds me of what's happening in horror right now, but way a long time ago in the early 90s. So big shout out to this movie. Okay. Are you ready for some chaos? It's 2008's The Dark Knight, directed by Chris Nolan, starring Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, and Gary Oldman. The Dark Knight returns in the second installment in Nolan's Batman trilogy, where Bruce Wayne / Batman faces off against the Agent of Chaos, the incorruptible Joker, who's set on bringing Gotham City to its knees and turning the city against the Caped Crusader. All right, this one is a bit controversial. We almost didn't put it on this list because Gotham is not Chicago.
Gasp.
It's New York City.
It's New York City. That's it. Well, okay, we're not going to get into that argument.
It's hypothetically, canonically, ostensibly.
Where was
New York
this
City.
where was this movie filmed?
This movie was filmed in Chicago. So a lot of people maybe would not have this in the top 10 and say, based on the criteria, this doesn't make sense. Luke, I wanted to bring it to you. We actually talked off air a while ago about this, where for me, as a kid in Michigan, in July of 2008 at 7:30 a.m. in the IMAX theater at Celebration Cinema in Northeast Grand Rapids, sitting down in that chair, seeing this movie. Chicago was Gotham, Gotham was Chicago. It was all intertwined, and it changed my life. So this movie, anytime I would drive into Chicago from then point on, to me, I just could not stop thinking about The Dark Knight and the shots in this movie. But I don't know what your thoughts as a local boy are.
Yeah, I mean, I also argued for this movie to be included because, as you said, not technically in Chicago, quote unquote, but like, if I can't, it's hard to explain. I feel like Jason. I wish I was Jason and I could wordsmith a little bit here. But like,
we all wish we were Jason.
we all wish we were Jason. This is
That's
true.
the key word.
This is true. What a beautiful, beautiful man. But I just remember like being in early high school when this movie came out, and just like the level of excitement around the city that this was being filmed here. And I just remember all the stories from my mom, who worked in the Loop, coming back home, being like, "Oh, they're filming this, that, and the other thing," and just like. This movie got everyone so hyped and excited because it wasn't a shitty Transformers movie. It was like, this is a Batman, and it's not just any of the other Batman series. This is like one of the best Batman series, you know, with all of the actors and everybody in it. So like, even though it's not technically Chicago, in so many ways it is because of how excited locals were about this coming to the city.
Right.
And should I go into ratings or?
Let's do it.
All right, so. One of my favorite parts about this movie, again, they're not saying, "Oh, we're in Chicago, blah, 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 go Hawks," all that stuff. But like I think what's so special about it as a Chicago movie is the filming and the scenery and how like the city is kind of a character in the movie in a way where, you know, it's really easy to do your flyover shot of the Sears Tower and be like, "Oh, look at this fucking thing." But like this movie is we're weaving in and out of Lower Wacker Drive. You know, we're in the metro station under Millennium Park. Where I think maybe it's the first movie, but they're going down Lake Street. Like just the way they, you know, we're zip lining across buildings in the Loop. We are on LaSalle Street, you know, having a big parade. Like it's so cool how Chicago was included, not just as like a thing in the background, but like as its own character. And it's just a fucking awesome movie, right? Like, if it's on TV, I'm watching it, you know. Granted, like, I will be honest and say, aura-wise, like, if I'm giving all the credit to scenery, I can't say, like, oh, this has Chicago aura, because they're intentionally not trying to make this a Chicago movie. And it would be easy to say, like, oh, well, there's crime, so thus it is Chicago. But, you know, I don't buy into that as much. So I'm not going to give it big aura points. But I will say cinematic quality is a 5 to me. The scenery is a 4. And the aura, I'm going to give a 1, but that's just because of how much it means to people here, not because the movie actually was trying to be Chicago-rific or whatever the fuck.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Eric's
got his hand up.
Get in here.
I have a hot take.
Hot take.
I'm gonna get vetoed on this one. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure. So it's a great movie. It you know, is it one of the best movies of all time? I don't know. I was definitely not one of those high schoolers that was like obsessed with this movie when it came out.
Who would?
I thought it was
Those people.
Sorry, I'm not gonna call you out, Ferris.
Heath Ledger. Fucking
God,
Heath Ledger.
listen,
What a
no.
loser
Wow,
for making
those-
this
yeah,
one.
those-
Heath Ledger, obviously incredible performance. Like, definitely one of the best performances of all time. I love the movie. The movie's a 5 for me. Cinematic quality, 5. Scenery, I hear what you're saying about the city, and that it's a character in the movie. It's a character in the movie because it's a named character. It's called Gotham. And I think they do a great job of making you forget that it's Chicago, actually. If you're from Chicago, yes, you know that it's Chicago.
Right.
But for me, watching this, the first 15 times I saw it before I moved to Chicago 6 years ago, it didn't mean anything to me. This was Gotham City, basically. And Gotham in my head is just like some fictional version of New York City. So coming as an outsider, I'm gonna give this a 1 on scenery.
Card.
Because it just simply
Card.
I know Lower Wacker is very famous, but Lower Wacker
I'm
that could very well just
throwing
be like
shut
that could be a bunch of foam
He's
blocks
going
in
at
like
the
a
first
football
card.
stadium.
Well,
that they're
just
trying-
hold
I
it
know,
hold
yeah,
it
I'm
till
Oh,
the
I
end of the
can't-
rankings. Hold
I'm
it till
getting
the
carded.
end. Hold
Getting
it.
carded.
I-
Red card.
Wait,
can't wait to hear what you say about the Sting.
Yeah.
Chicago Aura also a 1. I mean,
Okay,
same
okay.
thing for the same reasons. Anyway, those are my hot takes. I also do love the movie, so don't
It's
get me
okay.
wrong.
It's okay. Luke is using his Chicago card.
I
His
hope-
first Chicago card is being used here. So we're adding up. So Eric rated this movie a 7. We're adding a point to his total to 8.
Can I also make him take a shot of Malort as punishment?
Yeah, we don't have any Malort. We have
Horrible,
old
horrible-
style.
do that for free.
Yeah. Joke's on you. Since we're over there on that couch, Mel.
On this couch.
Yes.
As much as I actually saw this movie for the first time this year.
Wow.
This year, yeah, at the music box.
What a
Nice.
gift.
Yes, and I did enjoy it as much as I have heard boys talk about it for so long, and
Heath
kind of
Ledger's in it.
didn't want to like it. I did like it. So for cinematic quality, I gave it a
boys.
5, and Chicago scenery was tough because I also agree with where Eric is coming from.
Aw.
However,
Cute.
whenever I describe, because Eric and I lived in New York City for 5 years, and
Yes.
again, I would say Gotham is generally styled after New York City, and one
This
of
will
my
be,
favorite
we'll
books.
save
I'm
that
not-
argument.
the-
Yeah,
the
the
steam
two
One of my
rising out of my
favorite
head.
books is The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, who are kind of modeled after Stan Lee and their creation of like the Marvel universe, and they live and
Okay.
work in New York, and it's a very New York City tale. So I often associate like all of that with New York.
Oh, okay.
However, wait.
Wait.
Let me
Don't use-
finish.
Don't use all your cards.
Whenever people are like having moved from New York to Chicago, and they're like, well, how is Chicago different? And I'm always like, Chicago is a more cinematic city. I would say downtown with the river cutting through it, the unique
right.
architecture. Like New York City's magical and cool, and I miss it, but it is like an endless downtown, and you don't experience the Chrysler Building or the Empire State Building until you're like there in front of it or you see it from afar. But Chicago is this incredible, especially downtown Chicago, from so many vantage points. It's just like awe-inspiring and incredible. So I understand why they shot it here. So that's why I would give Chicago scenery a 4 because of how it was utilized.
Go.
And then for Chicago Aura, I would give it. I'm actually going to dock it to a 1. Oh no, I had
That's
a
fair.
1.
That's fair.
Because it's not meant to be Chicago.
Okay. That's a 10 for Mel. Jason, over to you. I'm curious. The couch difference here is I can feel it. There's a little bit
Yeah.
of this couch versus that
Couple v
couch.
couple.
War. This is war.
This
No,
is war. Yeah.
The Dark Knight's great. I also have very fond memories of seeing this in theaters when it came out. Also because a party at my house was busted out that same night, but that's a story for another podcast.
Yeah.
Gotham PD, here they come.
I'll since we're all doing our Gotham takes, I'll have my kind of short Gotham take is that like I think the flexibility of Gotham is fun and interesting, and I think that The Dark Knight is a Chicago movie, just like The Dark Knight Rises is a Pittsburgh movie. Gotham is absolutely Pittsburgh in that movie, and Gotham is Chicago in this one, and I think that's totally fine. That's why it's not New York. It's Gotham. It's a comic book fake place that can be anywhere.
Thanks.
So
Peacemaker
for me,
over here.
it works to be. It works that it shifts. And to be extra nerdy, Marvel does take place they locate in real cities like New York and stuff, and that's like one of the big differences between Marvel and DC. So
Dropping knowledge over here.
Dark Knight, but I mean like Peter Parker, Spider-Man, New York, Batman, fake land.
But what about New York? It's always forgotten. I feel like New York is just not appreciated
I
enough.
feel like,
I just feel like no one ever talks about New York.
yeah, they're not doing podcasts about best New York movies. There's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
like 2 shots
Have
there.
they even filmed anything there? Like what an underdog, New York.
For me, cinematic quality, The Dark Knight's a 4. Chicago scenery, I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it a 4.
Okay.
Actually, in response to like the one other thing I wanted to add is that you asked Soldano about like favorite Chicago spots and movies. For me, I love Lower Wacker. I think it is such a good Chicago location. Is one that doesn't feel touristy. It has like a little grit and grime, but you see into the river and some light and into the skyline, all that stuff. I think it's like such an incredible place. And so when there is a good Lower Wacker scene in a movie, it feels so Chicago to me.
It's so good.
It's so good. And for all the same reasons everyone else said, I gave this a 1.5 for Aura.
All right.
Can I add two things?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so one of the scenes in this movie was shot at Twin Anchors, which is one of my favorite bars. The ribs are probably overrated, but I do love their ribs.
Barbecue place.
Just a classic like 20s vibe. Had to call that out. Also, no one said it, so I'll just say it because it's obligatory. Holy shit, Heath Ledger, like just the utmost respect to his performance in this movie. Obviously, it was sadly what defined his career in a lot of ways, but like, thank you for this performance because holy shit, it was just so
changed
good.
my life.
Hey, we also have 10 things I hate about you. So
Oh, I know. It's just
He died so young. It's
really
like
did.
now that I'm getting older and aging and like growing up when he was like he just seemed like he was an older actor for me being younger. It's like, oh no, he was so young. Okay, I'll start crying. I gave it where am I at? 5 cinematic quality, 4 for scenery, 3 for aura. I've already talked about it. A couple other call outs. Jim Gordon's place. We have another stairwell fire escape scene when Batman's kind of there. That to me is like actually the most Chicago shot is like
Very
Batman.
Chicago.
that's true. I support that.
Yeah, where Batman's just there on a Chicago stairwell in the back, surprising Jim Gordon.
smoking a red.
Yeah. After a long shift of crime fighting. Okay, so that was Eric gave it 8, Mel 10, Jason 9.5, Luke 10, Luke 12. All right. Guys, I don't know if you knew this, but life moves pretty fast. And sometimes Chow chow. It is 1986, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, directed by John Hughes, starring Matthew Broderick, Alan Ruck, Mia Sara, and Jennifer Grey. Ferris Bueller is a suburban high school senior and beloved slacker who decides to take advantage of a rare, warm, sunny day in Chicago by skipping school with his best friend and girlfriend to explore the city of Chicago for the best day off ever, all while avoiding being caught by his little sister parents and deplorable principal. It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Who wants to jump in to the best day ever?
I feel like it's got to be.
Don't let
Suburban
Soldano
Chicago.
go
I-
first.
yeah.
No, don't let him go first. He's gonna
I-
ruin it.
Mel, go ahead. Mel, get in there.
Well, great. Let me look at my list. I adore this movie. Who doesn't? It is such a
We have the
delight.
VHS right here
So
for those
fun.
watching
I
on
will
YouTube.
happily rewatch it anytime.
Yes.
Cinematic quality, it's a 5. It's amazing. And Chicago scenery. This is where I'm sure you're gonna have a good old time with it. It's an ad for Chicago. It's an ad to come visit, and it's an ad to come have a good time. Here's what you can do. Go, look out the window of the Sears Tower. Go have a crazy, wonderful meal at a fancy restaurant. Go to a parade downtown. It is an ad for Chicago, and so I would give it I'm going to go 4 Chicago scenery. Yeah. I had written down 5, but I think I'm going to dock it because I feel like I'm going to get inundated. Yeah.
Okay.
Chicago Aura, I will give it, I think I want to give it a 3, but I'm worried that's also optimistic. I'm worried it's like the happy white girl from a farm in Iowa that's like, I love Chicago, look at how fun it is, and really it's a representation of wealth and privilege in the suburbs of Chicago. So maybe Chicago Aura is a 2.
Okay. There's a lot in there.
Was that harsher than
No, that's good.
expected?
There's a lot to unpack there. That's good. In this movie, there's a lot to unpack. Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, wow, I'm surprised. Yeah, actually.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, no, I think those are all valid reasons, and I was going to say some of the same things, but I just give it 5s across the board. Because even the things that...
I will follow you, by the way.
Even the things that are, rightfully, negatives about the movie, that it's a very narrow slice of Chicago culture that is a prominent part of Chicago culture, also kind of like an infamous one. We come from a place where, a lot of the people we know are from Naperville or something like that, which is a very affluent suburb. And so it's something like it's not that I can identify with, but I think it is like a.
It is a part of it.
it's
Yeah.
Chicago.
If like when I went to school, I'm sure when you guys went to school, it was like, oh, I'm from Chicago. It's like, well, where are you really from? Oh,
Yeah, it's like that whole
from
joke, that
Skokie.
whole meme
Yeah.
now. Yeah, 100%. But it's just it's a perfect movie. I mean, it just never drags. To me, I think it's probably my favorite John Hughes movie. Not that I've seen all of them, but I've kind of seen the big 4 or 5, and it's my favorite. And I mean, just the performances are great. I mean, Matthew Broderick's incredible. I think my favorite character is the secretary, though.
Oh, she's great.
She is incredible. I mean, like her and the principal's like comedic timing together is just incredible. I love her.
Great.
I love her. So yeah,
so
fives.
All right, we're gonna move on to Jason. We'll save Soldano for the
yeah,
end here.
This movie is an indelible part of my childhood. It is like printed in my DNA. I agree. Like, it is a commercial for Chicago. When the first time I ever came to Chicago with my family when I was a kid, we basically had the Ferris Bueller day. Like, we went to the John Hancock building, put our head against the window, looked down. We like went, we did the Art Institute. My dad made a reservation under Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago.
Incredible.
And have a good day, Mr. Froman. It was like, I was thrilled. It was everything I could have wanted it to be. It was a blast. And yeah, this movie is fun as fuck. It's just a fucking blast. I gave this a 4.5 for cinematic quality. I gave it a 5 for scenery, and I gave it a 4.5 for aura. I do think it is a specific aura, but I think that like for everyone outside of Chicago, I think this movie defines Chicago, and I think that is an important part of Chicago.
I want to up my aura.
She's upping her aura.
What was your aura before?
I don't remember.
I think
2?
you gave it
It was a 2.
I was between 2 and 3. It's a 3. It's a solid 3 now.
Okay. She's upping her aura. Last but not least.
All right. Okay. I have thoughts. Okay. I have to lead with understanding where you guys are coming from, and I also have to express these are my opinions and not necessarily the opinions of all people in Chicago. This movie is a fantastic tourism movie. I do enjoy it. It's always a good watch. So take everything I'm about to say with a grain of salt.
Oh boy.
Already have.
Okay.
Go in.
Rewatching this movie as an adult makes me realize that Ferris Bueller isn't so whimsical so much as he's a piece of shit and he's a pain in the ass. He's just ruining the lives of like regular ass people working in their jobs and just giving them hell for no good reason. But he's selfish. But that has nothing to do with the Chicago part. I think that, again, it's a good tourism video, but anyone could have made this movie scenery-wise. Like, let's just go across the most obvious Chicago landmarks. You know what I mean? If the Bean was around at that point, I guarantee it would have been in the movie. Points for the fact that they went in the Art Institute and actually like picked out different pieces of art that make the Art Institute iconic. That I really appreciate. But like generally speaking, nothing scenery-wise in this movie isn't in most of the other movies we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't, it doesn't get those points for me. Sorry, I'm pulling up my notes. But like you could have, this movie, speaking as someone who grew up in the suburbs and lived in the cities, so I feel like I have a good understanding. Like, to me, this movie is more of an encapsulation of what it's like to live in the suburbs and visit the city than it is to be
that's right.
in the city. You know what I mean?
Totally
Like
fair.
this movie, someone mentioned Naperville. This movie to me is a Naperville movie because I don't know if it was actually filmed there.
Naperville movie.
Yeah, it's a bunch. It's
The
a bunch
list
of
goes on and on.
it's a bunch of fucking privileged white kids in some rich ass suburb stealing their dad's car to go in the city and do the most obvious shit. Not a single person has a Chicago accent, and I have never gotten over this since the first time I saw it. There's a fucking Red Wings jersey.
And that's why this is 5s across the board for me. Thank you, John. You just grew up a Red Wings fan. God bless him.
Cameron is probably my favorite character in this movie,
he's the best.
but I fucking hate seeing the Red Wings jersey. It always pisses me off, and what it reminds me of growing up is no matter what high school or suburb you went to, there was that kid in your grade who just had to be a Packers fan or Red Wings fan. He didn't have family from Michigan or Wisconsin. He was just a prick, right? So he was just being fucking annoying. And to me, that's like, as much as I like Cameron's character, I see that and I can't not fucking think about it. It drives me nuts. I hate the Red Wings jersey. It absolutely ruins the aura for me. So, really,
shouldn't that add to the aura? It sounds very
to defend it is part of Cameron's character. A lot of people think that that's him. Another thing that he's subtly doing to antagonize his dad because he's wearing the rival original 6 team to kind of piss him off.
That's valid. But the fact that I had to look at a Red Wings jersey the whole time tells you, like, if you wore a Packers jersey, I'd get an even lower rating. Like, I just don't.
Well, we can agree.
I don't
want to
fucking see it.
Yeah, if it was a Packers jersey, I would not rate that very high.
I don't want to fucking see it. But yeah, you could have made this movie with 3 kids from Detroit driving into Chicago for the day. There's nothing about them that is inherently Chicagoan. They're just tourists. So yes, it's a good tourist movie. I think my take on it would be that I don't think that Ferris Bueller is like a great Chicago movie, but it did inspire like Chicago culture. Like, to me, Abe Froman, the most iconic, thing I can think of from that movie, you'll hear it all over the city. Like, it kind of gave some culture to the city as opposed to like leaning on the actual culture of the city, if that makes sense. Yeah. So points to it for that. But I had to shit on it a little bit because I knew a bunch of out-of-towners would be like, oh, fucking look at this shit. So
there you go.
Okay, so going across
Good
the ratings.
counterpoint.
Thank you. Cinematic quality 3.5. Chicago scenery a 2. And the aura, I'm going to give a Naperville, which you can translate that into whatever rating you want, but it's getting a Naperville out of 5. All right, so
turn his mic up. Just turn it off.
Let's call it a 1 for Abe Froman.
Okay, I have 3 more things to say.
Okay.
I got 5.
Not even related to that. I just want to get this in. I thought rewatching this just the other day, and I've seen it many, many times, but it strikes me as like one of the biggest emotional swings of maybe any movie that I can think of right now is Alan Ruck's character Cameron. Cameron's like beating against the car, like that like moment of just like railing against his dad. And then the car falling off, like that dip of just like, whoa, this got really serious and very emotional and very relatable for a lot of people, to like, holy shit, like, like just this crazy ending after this crazy movie. Incredible. I love that huge swing.
So true.
I love it. Good. And then Jennifer Grey, just incredible. I love her. And Matthew Broderick hacks into his school in this movie, as he hacks into his school in War Games. Yep. So conceivably, they are part of the same universe.
I like it.
So I'd like to, maybe unpack that one day. But
that's good.
I just want to point out for the listeners that there was a look on Mel's face when Eric expressed his love for Jennifer Grey that can only be described as what a wife would do if you expressed your love.
She introduced me to Jenny. Is like
Jenny, very, very.
Dirty Dancing is one of my absolute favorite movies. So I adore
one of the best
Jennifer
movies
Grey.
ever made.
I feel like she's kind of weird in Ferris Bueller. She's just like an angry sister, and I never understood it. Yeah.
The twinkle happens once with her and Charlie Sheen have that scene.
Yes.
That's when you see her twinkle come out, and it's like, oh, there she is. Like,
there's
the full dynamic because she's playing a one-note like Disney character.
Yes. 100%.
My wife Erin has gotten the comment that she looks like Jennifer Grey a few times, which is like kind of true, but but it's fair.
The hair does a lot there. There are just a couple. Let's talk about it. The choir of a couple more things. I think there are so many iconic lines. You said Abe Froman's the most iconic. I think there are so many things that have just like seeped into the culture that don't even feel like they're a part of Ferris Bueller. I've gone to a few baseball games this year, and I know it's not entirely from, but the amount of like swing
better, swing better.
Swing bat. It's like so good. They're so like God, and I wish I could off the top of the dome do the whole like I heard from my cousin at 31 Flavors last like so many great fucking beats. The water tower, Save Ferris, like yeah, there are so many just really funny. It's like the movie I feel like comes across, especially now, like so nostalgic in so many ways, but it really does stand on its own as just being fucking funny.
Amazing. Fun fact: Chez Paul, the restaurant, is also in the Blues Brothers. So
Yeah, I
was
noticed
the
that.
fun fact. I don't know if you guys know.
I did
noticed
catch
It's the
that,
same,
yeah.
the fancy restaurant. They go to the same fancy restaurant. So
Funny.
Chez Paul.
Sh-
Chez
oh,
Paul.
boy.
Chez Paul.
Chez Paul, as I would pronounce it.
Chez
as
Pauly.
true
Michigander.
Michiganders would pronounce it.
Here they got escargot.
Yeah, escargot. 5 across the board for me. Same reason you hate the Red Wings jersey. I love it.
Boo.
Yes. So I have to throw that out there. And also, my last name is Ferris. So yes, this movie's important to me. What's going to happen next? Stay tuned next week, part 2 of Best Chicago Movies, where we count down the rest of the top 10 and we crown the best Chicago movie.